What's up guys, Jeff here from GT Sports, and this is going to be a bit of a different take. A couple of days ago, a couple of my friends hit me up and asked about my reaction to something that's trending online where it involves, I think, the Choco Mucho volleyball team. I'm not quite certain, I don't have a lot of information regarding that, but I saw the video and I kind of want to get into it a little bit to see if it's really valid or not, how people's reactions are, so take a look.
Hi, Boss D.
Hi, Boss D. Hi, Dina. Baba.
Just say hi.
Hi,
Okay, so the video is basically, I believe, again, that volleyball team walking. I think they're on a vacation. They were just walking back to their bus. A couple of people, maybe a good 5 or 6 people, wanted to say hi. I think very clearly Deanna Wong, very popular figure in volleyball. That fan wanted to get a reaction from her. I think a lot of people thought she was snubbed. Okay, fair enough. I got 2 things to say about this. The first one is, if this is a very consistent thing with this team, the reason why I say that first is because I don't want my words to be minced here. I need people to really understand what I'm trying to say. If this is like a multiple event thing, or this has happened multiple times, then yeah, to some degree, if you are a celebrity and you are representing a brand, or you're a person in general and you're representing a brand, that brand sort of coincides with how you portray yourself. Now, if this has happened multiple times, to some degree, I agree. Where, you kind of want to be a little bit more bubbly to your fans, a little bit more receptive. I don't think bubbly is a word. Receptive is a word to your fans. You want to say hi, just want to wave at them, okay. Because I think having this negative energy all the time is a bad thing. But, and here's the reason why I think I had a really strong reaction to this when I first saw it. It's because, again, they're just a bunch of people walking. They just want to go to their bus. And if this is the first or second time this has happened, this is where it gets a little interesting to me. Because, again, the video is just them. They're walking to their bus. Just want to go home. Now, my whole stand is they're people. They have emotions. They're not zoo animals, or they're not carnival animals where if you as a fan are coming forward and waving something at them to solicit a reaction, that they give you one that somehow makes you feel entertained or bubbly or giddy inside. I think that's sort of like the problem that I see. Just because there's this whole political and business aspect to it. Again, these are people. They're athletes. My question here is, did anybody ever bother to get this team side on the whole thing? Were they having a bad day? Were they coming off a loss? Did they have personal problems that they need to deal with? Because this is not the only incident involving athletes and fans before where there wasn't much, or fans were being snubbed and whatever. It's just that I think there's a human aspect to being a celebrity, or being a celebrity athlete of that. And that sometimes if you're a fan and if you're someone from the outside looking in, there needs to be some type of consideration for the person involved, whereby, again, did we ever bother to ask if anything was going on? I think so many people were a bit too quick to judge and say that these athletes need to have a better attitude. I get that. At the same time, though, my question is this an isolated incident? Is this the first time this has ever happened? Because, again, these are people. They're not animals. They're not on display every time they go out. And I think there was a comment whereby it was made, or where a comment was made where they should keep out of the public eye. I mean, what are they supposed to do? I don't think they were even intentionally looking for any camera. I think, again, they were on their way to the bus, and they were riding the bus, and somebody just so happened to be there, and she was a fan, I believe, and she just wanted a reaction. So I thought that was a little bit out of bounds, where if it's a sport, they're really good at what they do. There are so many athletes that I can name that go in, go out, and they haven't warranted this type of reaction or disrespect, which I think is just again, utterly insane when I go through the different posts that people have had about it. It's ridiculous. They're people. They're entitled to their emotions. They feel bad. Again, I don't know if they came off a loss. If they did, I mean, pretty valid. They're pretty down. And if they're just going through some personal stuff, did anybody ever bother to ask this team if they were going through something that we were not well aware of? That's my only thing. Like, let's also be a little bit more responsive to if it gets snubbed, okay. But if it's just that time, but if it happens again, okay, maybe there is a problem with this team that they feel like they're above and beyond everybody else. However, if this is like the first time, or if this is like just one of those days where we understand what's happening with them, maybe a little understanding goes a long way to just treating them as another human being, right? So again, just a little bit of understanding goes a long way. I'm curious to know. I've never actually seen any posts about the athlete side of things, what really happened or what was going on, because I'm curious to know if something was going on that got the whole team down, the energy was not as good as maybe you would expect from a celebrity athlete. My take is that, I mean, if they said hi, cool. If they didn't, it happens a lot. Athletes just blow by. Like, you see it in the NBA, where I do a lot of covering. Athletes just go by. They don't even like bother with some fans anytime, or sometimes. I mean, especially coming off a loss, or if they're going through some stuff and you know about it, you hear about it in the news. So again, this has been Jaff from GT Sports. This was a bit of a long take, but I hope you guys enjoyed this take. I'll see you soon.